One of the most anticipated video games in years is finally being released on November 8th, Death Stranding.
Hideo's a genius. I mean, he's like another level guy.
It's so full of just incredible ideas and things that I've never really experienced in a video game before.
Death Stranding is coming out this year. It's crazy how little we actually know about this game so close to its release.
Death Stranding has been shrouded in mystery for literally years.
It's a bring people together game. He's a visionary.
Any games you're looking forward to? I'm looking forward to Death Stranding because I have no idea what it's about.
Millions of people are going to be playing basically Norman Reedus in a game with the baby strapped on front of you.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. I'm back.
So let's talk about Death Stranding. If you don't know, Hideo Kojima is a Japanese game developer who's renowned for his work on the Metal Gear franchise. He's also known as father of the stealth genre, but after literally creating and pioneering that corner of the gaming world, Kojima was thrown out by his employers.
Fly, you fools.
He was barred from even receiving an award for his work. Like, this man made Snake, okay? Konami, how could you just... Not soon after, he announced that he would be starting his own company, Kojima Productions, and his first title would be Death Stranding. But 3 whole years had gone by, and no one had heard anything about it. The whole thing was on lockdown for fear of spoilers. Only a few months before its release did we really start to hear about it, and that's just insane. When it was finally released, I began talking to some of my friends about it, and almost all of them said, wait, that's out? I bought it because this right here is a piece of gaming history. Not only has it been one of the most highly anticipated and curiosity-piquing games ever, but Hideo himself said that with this, his goal is to create an entirely new genre of gaming. A new genre. You've got action, adventure, stealth, fighting, puzzles, horror, racing, sports, rhythm, strategy, mobile games, party games, FPS, RTS, RPG, MMO, etc. You've got all these categories to pick from, and he chooses to try and make something new. Now introducing the Strand genre. Now this got everyone asking, what's a Strand game? So what did anyone expect? We knew next to nothing about this when it was announced. Eventually it was revealed that you're just a delivery man. Everything you do ties into that one core fact. So you'll hear the words walking simulator thrown around a lot when you're watching other reviews, and that's fair. Walking is its main factor of gameplay. You, the player, are supposed to be the vehicle that drives Sam from one moment to the next. And while keeping that in mind, I was able to enjoy the setting that I was placed in. The visuals, the characters, the story. Everything seemed so mysterious and interesting. But as I played on, I quickly learned that this wasn't a walking simulator. Games like Journey, Abzu, Firewatch, Gone Home, those are walking simulators. They're games that are driven by visual or vocal storytelling where the main objective is to get from point A to point B. And while that does sound like Death Stranding, the main difference is that Death Stranding has obstacles. The very terrain itself is an obstacle. The player has to be constantly aware of where they're stepping, otherwise this happens.
I want to bother you.
Fuck!
Fuck!
Shut up!
Why you hit me like that? At least one of them is right there.
Planning your course to avoid danger while also keeping track of the easiest path to travel is essential in making sure that your deliveries get to their location in the best possible condition. And trust me, there are dangers out there. My first time encountering the enemies of the game was very tense.
Heads up, Sam. Your cargo's been pinged. Move. Now, before someone has eyes on you.
The bad guys are called mules, and they want to jump you for your packages so that they can be the ones who deliver those same packages. So naturally, I said,
No, never!
Get fast!
We need you! We need you!
However, there are two types of enemies. You've got mules and you've got BTs. Those are the spooky ghost people you see in the trailers, but we'll talk about them in a minute. I want to point out that right away, I noticed this game has an obsession with death and what it truly means to die. It's discussed numerous times through emails and radio transmissions, and we're compared to artificial intelligence and whether or not they can die. And even the death screen itself is an interpretation of the afterlife. I know because the first thing I did was kill myself.
Don't fall.
Well, I don't know if I do though.
I do not like this.
What the?
Boy! I was not ready for that. Woo, that fucking scared the shit out of me. You okay?
Holy shit, no, I'm not okay. Let's do it again.
No, don't do it again!
I mean, dude, the beginning of the game is you carrying a dead body on your back. That's the very first level. I said to myself, well, I'm not doing that.
Together with Bridget's undying spirit.
Eyes open, dumbass.
But you have to, so I wound up running all the way back. I hope you're taking notes, by the way, because this is all integral to the story. So the story was actually incredibly well written, and is what mainly retained my attention long enough to see it through to the end. Don't worry though, I'll break it down without spoiling it. Okay, I can do this. There was an extinction level apocalypse that the people referred to as the Death Stranding, where a lot of spooky ghost people suddenly appeared and started eating regular people, which caused voidouts. Massive explosions that wiped out life across most of the planet. These explosions led to the discovery of chiralium, a newly discovered element which is thought to have always existed but has been hidden by the beach. Not that beach, we'll get to that later.
I know you have questions, but can you save them? For after.
All of this caused certain people to have dooms, a sort of sixth sense for BTs. BTs is short for beach things, who are the spirits of the people that have died but have tried to re-inhabit their unliving bodies. That's why there's spooky ghost people everywhere. The only way to prevent this is to incinerate the bodies so the spirit will have no reasonable attachment left to this world. So now we're Ghostbusters. But not always, because the BTs can be avoided when you use your ghost detecting baby, known as the BB. Different characters have different levels of dooms. Sam is only level 2, so he's useless. F's here.
There is no time for questions.
However, other characters are much higher in level and have supernatural abilities like BT summoning and the power to use the beach. I told you we'd get to it. What is the beach, you ask? Well, the beach is an alternate reality that exists between the world of the living and the world of the dead. So it's basically purgatory, but everyone has their own personal purgatory beach, except for Sam, because he's a repatriate. Oh, Jesus Christ. A repatriate is a being who has the ability to gather soul back to their body and successfully come back to life after dying. So Sam is unkillable, unless... they don't really get into that. Now, you may be wondering, what caused the Death Stranding? Umbilical cords. See, what had happened was... You play as Sam, a repatriate who suffers from a fear of intimacy and emotional connection, which is a real thing called aphenphosmphobia, which basically means...
Whoa, no touchy. No touchy. No touch.
Which is why it's ironic to have him reconnect America. Hideo, I see what you did there. Why is he doing this on foot? Because the chiralium creates this rain called timefall, which rapidly ages whatever it touches, so planes and drones will be non-functional, so the only option is to deliver things on foot or by car. But with all the spooky ghost people and the terrorists out and about, no one is brave enough to go outside, so it's up to Sam to reconnect what's left of America because he's the world's greatest FedEx employee.
Wait, Sam? As in Sam Porter, that legendary delivery guy?
You got all that? Good, because none of it's probably accurate. That's right, it's all speculation because the backstory is spoon-fed to you bit by bit by bit through like 200,000 emails, and I read through all of them so you don't have to, because 90% of them is just generic bullshit anyway. Now my question. How does any of that translate to gameplay? Throughout the game, you wind up unlocking constant upgrades and abilities that make the game easier. It's like after every mission, HQ calls you and goes, "Hey Sam, we did a thing. Enjoy."
Ooh, a hat.
Really?
Give me a hat.
A hat, that's all I fucking get.
Even while I was writing this script, I was well near the end of the game, and new things were still being thrown at me, which is good. Every reward you're given helps to decrease how tired you get, increase how much weight you can carry, how easy it is to balance yourself, and more. My favorite one is honestly,
Damn, boy, he's thick!
These are incentives to play as much of the game as you can, because in the end, it'll make your journey so much easier. Death Stranding tries to send a positive message about coming together to overcome obstacles, and after careful analysis, that's what I feel the Strand genre is supposed to be. It's a cooperative experience focused on having other players connect and help each other indirectly. Kojima basically invented an in-game internet where the story is about delivering Wi-Fi, and that concept works. If I place a ladder down somewhere for myself, I know it'll help another player's journey and vice versa. Once a region is on the network, other players' structures and vehicles will appear and will be usable within that region. So if I wanted to continue doing deliveries in that area, my life would become so much more easier. Other games have sort of had this system thought out, like in Dark Souls you could leave notes behind and troll other players, but Death Stranding is the first to implement it this way, where you could lay down actual tangible items for other players to be able to use. If I'm wrong, then fight me in the comments. You can also choose to enter a Strand contract with other players and basically say that you want to interact with those people more than others. Or you can just play offline and have no outside help. The choice is yours. There are also moments where Sam breaks the fourth wall in what I like to call second-person experiences. You've got third person, which is when you see the character and their world from an outside perspective, and first person, where you are the character in that world, and you see it through their eyes. But second person is more of a surreal experience, where the character is aware of you as the player. And while this game doesn't make a huge deal about it, it is there and something that I wanted to point out.
Whoa, no touchy. No touchy. No touch.
There was also one time I left Sam outside for too long and he eventually ended up begging me for a shower. You know, it's got that Kojima charm.
That's good.
While also having a supernatural aspect to it, the gameplay tries to have as much realism as it can, which means that Sam can get tired, he loses his balance, if he loses too much blood, he can pass out from anemia. If your BB becomes too stressed, it can't do its job. These are all factors that contribute to the game's realism, and while they can sometimes be annoying, it's understandable why they were put in. If you follow Kojima in his career, he's always had a passion for making his games as realistic as possible. He wanted the players to feel the weight of this journey and the struggle of Sam's life as a person in this world, to further immerse the player. So yeah, he gets the intended message across, but with the tediousness comes complications. So of course I played the game in hard mode. We don't do that easy mode shit around here. And right away I noticed that the weight management mechanic was going to be frustrating. See, the triggers on the controller are mapped towards holding your backpack straps and keeping your weight centered so you don't fall over. So a lot of the time you're just doing this.
I can see the memes, Lizzie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go SpongeBob. What the fuck was that?
But it's unfair that even when you do manage your inventory and your weight distribution properly, you can still fall over for no reason sometimes.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What happened?
What's worse is that there's no incentive to explore. I remember turning on the game and right away I wanted to see what was around the corner instead of continuing the story. I had a similar problem with Red Dead Redemption 2. I spent hours just completing side missions and exploring the huge open world they created. But with Death Stranding, there's no reason to do any of that because there's nothing to find. Except more packages, of course. But then again, I was constantly questioning if I should even pick up those lost packages. Is it worth it? Because overloading Sam destroys his range of motion, and you find so many lost packages every 10 seconds. In the beginning, I was like, fucking hours to do, getting strong now, coming on now, getting strong now. Bring it back. Gonna fly now, flying high now, gonna fly. Okay. What's my reward? Please.
I'll be with you. Should take this.
Are you fucking shitting me? But yeah, sometimes the rewards for going out of your way don't feel very rewarding. And all of the side missions are just making more deliveries. Sometimes you'll have to fight mules, but the combat isn't engaging. A lot of it is just wait, parry, bind. And yeah, later on you can unlock both lethal and non-lethal guns, but you're so discouraged from killing people for 90% of the game anyway, you can't even kill enemies by accident. So a lot of my encounters were just this.
You go to sleep. And you go to sleep. And you go to sleep. Hey. No. No. No breaking free. And you go to sleep.
You having fun?
What really bothers me is the fact that the game never forces you into any difficult encounters with either of the enemy types. I was playing on hard mode. All of the mule camps you can pretty much just speed through. And damn near all of the boss fights you can just run away from. Yeah, no. I did it. But honestly, almost all of the encounters feel like they're just made to worsen the already slow pacing. And my god, the pacing.
Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Look at it!
The pacing is slow to an absolute crawl sometimes, between having to open up your inventory menu mid-fight
What?
to having to rewatch so many recycled cutscenes. It's ridiculous. And thankfully you're able to skip most of them, but like, come on, man. I'm not gonna watch Sam shower and use the bathroom every single time. That's more creepy than anything. Who's doing that?
You've got a great butt.
There are some things I wish were tweaked that could have made Death Stranding so much better. For one, I think the vehicles could have been a lot less sensitive.
Seriously?
Although that could just be me. No, the vehicles could have been better. Some parts of the terrain could have been worked on more. But at this point, I feel like I'm just nitpicking. I really did enjoy this game. I want that to be clear. Although... no, never mind. Hey, no, wait, what are you doing? Wait, stop! Yeah, let's just say that there were moments and times where I felt like I had no choice but to go the expected route. And the reason that's a problem is because this is an open world game. I should be able to approach the challenge however I want, but instead I was met with constant invisible walls, which is just the game saying, no, do it the way I want you to. And that's not fun. I put all this time and patience to go up and around the mountain, only to reach the top and be denied access? Come on. But even more so, I wish Death Stranding had added the basic fundamentals of an open world game. The fast travel is so abysmal, I only ever bothered using it once, for the story. Yeah, I didn't record that, I'm sorry. Sam, as a character who was outside and alone for such a prolonged amount of time, he doesn't even have any crafting or survival skills. Kojima put all this time and work into the realism, and yet Sam never needs to eat or build a tent? There's not even a night and day cycle, which is something they could have used to switch up the gameplay. Honestly, a large majority of the world, for as beautiful as it is, feels lifeless. There's no animals, barely any NPCs, and almost all of your interactions with other people are through holograms or menus. In a game about connecting people, I've never felt more alone. Even the multiplayer feels isolating because I would just randomly come across abandoned vehicles. If there was a modified multiplayer system like in Monster Hunter, where I would be able to go and help other people on their delivery quests, that would be so much better. Like, could you imagine me and the boys at 3 a.m. going to build this bridge? Like, that would have been so cool. And last but not least, this game has an incredible soundtrack. The sound design and the music paired with it is absolutely beautiful. So beautiful, in fact, that it's all copyrighted and I can't really show it to you. Of course, I could sing it for you. But let's be honest, my voice is too beautiful for you to handle. If you want to hear more singing in the future, I can take it in the comments section. But seriously, the music is absolutely stunning, and it fits perfectly with the tone of the world. But you can't listen to it unless you're in a private room, or one of the songs just randomly plays while you're outside. So you're telling me, we can 3D print a bridge, but not an MP3 player? It's bullshit. So while Sam is an interesting character, I can honestly describe him with just a few words. X gon' give it to ya.
I've been doing this for 19 years. Niggas wanna fight me, fight these tears.
The entire main cast I thought were all interesting. I thought some of their names were fucking ridiculous, like Dead Man, who sends you emails to watch the movies that his actor directed. How do you delete emails? You got Die Hard Man, who's basically just the Colonel from Metal Gear because he constantly calls you to say dumb shit like,
make sure you carry pizzas properly at all times.
Then you've got Fragile, who has this health obsession with eating bugs. Bugs, want a bug, something to eat, bugs.
Stop offering me fucking bugs.
And then there's Heartman. I actually like him. My favorite character's got to be Deadman because... Shh.
No one can spy on us in here.
All of these characters and their individual stories are amazingly well written. But everybody else... yeah, they're not that interesting. Some of them are literally just cargo, where if you go into a private room, you'll have enough time to sleep, shower, shave, shit, look at your toys, and drink 5 Monster Energy drinks before you can finally head back out. And the whole time, Sam won't say a word. And honestly, I can't blame him. I didn't give 2 shits about the engineer, the cosplayer, or this thing. Most of these side characters are forced into the story, and they don't even have names. So why should I care, you know? But yes, the entire main cast was spectacular, even the villains. So if you've been paying attention so far, you already know. The mules and BTs are not very hard to deal with. They'll catch you slipping sometimes if you're not paying attention, but for the most part their AI is very PS2-like. It's not adaptive and it doesn't learn from its mistakes or the player's actions, leading a lot of the combat to feel repetitive. But you gotta remember that combat isn't the core focus of the game, even on hard mode, so I guess I can't complain. Y'all remember what I said about A Plague Tale being one of the best looking games on the system? Well, Death Stranding is, hands down, the best looking game to ever hit the PS4, and I will stand by that till the day I die. I mean, just look at this. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The graphics inspire this serene feeling of peace in me. It's kind of hard to describe, but the easiest way to put it is just, it's relaxing. And you know what? There's no photo mode. Why put all this work into the looks, but not let us take pictures of it? I mean, the closest we get to photo mode is just Sam playing with a mirror. And no, I'm not joking. Yeah, so Death Stranding is controversial. Half the crowd hates it, the other half loves it. But the way that I rate games is that I start with a 10, and I just knock a point off for every serious complaint that I have. The closer to 10, the better the game. And I realize that that's not the most perfect way to rate things, but fuck you, alright? I'll do what I want. For me, Death Stranding was a solid 5 out of 10. It's not for everybody, and it has some bugs it still needs to work out, but honestly, a 5 out of 10 when you're trying to create something entirely new is good. Because haters.
You gotta be grateful. You need haters. What the fuck is you complaining about? What the fuck do you think a hater's job is? To fucking hate.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this horrible Christmas present. At least I hope this video is finished by Christmas. If not, then... well, fuck. Merry January. If you want to see more reviews, then drop them in the comments below. And if you don't have any money to get your friends or loved ones a present this holiday, send them my video. Tell them it's a gift. Stay hydrated. I love you.